story. So, you know, it feels pretty good, you know. Well, good evening, everybody. It's been a long couple of days, but this has been a, I joked about the fact that I'm witnessing my memorial alive. Well, this special kind of is a product of a couple of years of planning, and we had 2 other dates over the last 2 years, and they all fell apart because, as you can imagine, trying to wrangle, you know, 18 artists was quite a feat in itself. But, you know, through the help of PBS and Warner Brothers and my relationship with the artists, and, it finally came to this night.
Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, David Foster.
I was overwhelmed at the press conference because we've been kind of jamming for like 3 days to get this thing together, you know, and it's like, it just feels like a pound of music, you know. That's because I'm so old, you know. I've done all this music, and like to have it all happen in one night is, it's kind of crazy, but I'm happy.
Let's go from the first sax solo to the second sax solo, and see how that feels for Boz.
It's great working with David. He's focused. He has a highly evolved sense of what he's doing with all of us.
Second verse, 1, 2, second verse.
He's extremely open and collaborative, and willing to try anything.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I think the reason that people like to work with him, you trust David. You know, if he says, this is the right arrangement, this is the right tempo, you know, okay, I trust you, David, and then that's why artists can feel confident when they work with him. I do.
KBG, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe Blake could have a country hit with our 35-year-old hit Wildflower.
The very first song that I had a hit with was called Wildflower, and that was the 35 years ago, right? And I always thought that it would make a great country song over the years, and never had a chance to try it out. And so I'm laying in bed one morning, I'm going, God, Blake Shelton, he's got the song Home, Michael Bublé's song that I produced, that my daughter wrote. Now it's a hit for him again. This is all like too full circle for me. And he's a Warner Brothers artist. What could be better? And the guy sings his ass off. I mean, he's just incredible. He came into rehearsal and just slayed it for me. And I'm hoping that we can make a record and that it'll be a hit single for him. You know, I mean, I really think it could be.
She's a free and gentle flower growing wild.
All right, everybody in place, let's run this, okay? Here we go.
I used to have kind of an R&B background. I mean, I wrote, you know, After the Love Is Gone for Earth, Wind & Fire. I did 2 albums with Earth, Wind & Fire. I produced the Tubes, 3 albums with the Tubes, a rock band. I produced Alice Cooper. I had a #1 hit with Denise Williams, a disco hit. I mean, you know, DeBarge, I had a #1 hit with Who's Holding Donna Now. So I've kind of, you know, more than dabbled in a lot of areas, but I don't know, in the last 20 years when I lay my hands on the keyboard, it just kind of comes out all schmaltzy, you know. That's what I do best, and that's the way it is.
And I keep wondering who's holding down, and I keep wondering who's holding.
The 80s was so great for me because it felt like every single song that I wrote, or co-wrote, or produced, had a chance at being a real hit. It's like we felt like we were in the game with every song. And so, you know, I wrote with, had hits with Kenny Loggins, with Kenny Rogers, with Chaka Khan. We're doing the song Through the Fire. And the 80s was just a blast. And then the 90s just like propelled me with The Bodyguard and Whitney, and then all the Celine hits, and then Toni Braxton, and All for One, and NSYNC, and all this stuff. And the 90s just was fantastic as well. I didn't think it could be better than the 80s. And then I got into the discovery part of my career, and that's kind of propelled me into where we are now.
David is the master of insulting you in a polite way, I would say. Like, you're in the studio, and, you know, you'll think you've just sang the greatest thing ever, and he'll push the button. You call that singing? No, David, I guess not. Sorry. He pushes you. He really pushes you, and he gets the best out of you.
Well, you know, working with new artists is something that I just sort of done in the last 8 or 9 years of my career, and I wish that I had done it more earlier in my career, because it's so rewarding. It's so much more challenging, but it's so much more rewarding. It's very, very difficult, especially these days, to break a new artist. but we've had a lot of success. You know, everybody has a story of how they begin, and at some point you just got to put that story aside and get on with your career. Josh is a superstar now. What a career he's had, and what a voice he has, and what a great young man he's turned out to be. As I said in the note to him, I said, I couldn't have been that smart to pick you and know that you could play the drums, that you could write songs, that you could play the piano, and you had all these other musical skills. There's no way I could have known that. I'm not that good. He just keeps surprising everybody.
1, 2, 3. Let's go. 4.
Michael Bublé is a gift to the world, and I feel great about the fact that I was the one that was able to snatch him out of Canada and kind of show him to the world.
I'd never sung at a wedding before, but I had heard he was going to be there, so I said yes. And
I saw him singing it, and again, it was that moment, like, I'm looking around at the wedding going, does anybody else, are they seeing what I'm seeing? It's like, this is one of the greatest voices ever. This is a slot that's wide open. Nobody's filling this slot right now.
I could just imagine David thinking, what do I want with this kid?
Maybe surrounded by a million people to feel all.
What was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Cetera.
Peter and I have had such a great writing relationship. I mean, I've probably written more hits with him than practically anybody, I think.
He and I worked together very well, so we basically put together Chicago 16, Chicago 17, and wrote some fabulous songs in the meantime. Hard to Say I'm Sorry, Glory of Love. You're the inspiration.
You know, again, when I saw him today, it was like it all comes back to you like instantly.
You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. Bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
Andrea Bocelli.
Thank you.
He's going to be singing Whole Lot of Shame Going On is up first, followed by Goodness Gracious Great Balls of Fire.
He walks on stage and he just becomes like a firestorm. Every pore of his body is filled with music. Like, and I've told him before, and I really believe this, when I'm with him, I feel like I'm with Mozart, because that's how good he is. He's the only person that I know of that truly walks in both worlds. He can sit down and play jazz piano, he can sit down and play saloon piano and sing My Way and all the old standards. He's my hero.
For I can't help falling in love with you.
Like I said, about the next installment, I can't imagine there could be one. There's no way that I could, you know, give out this much music. I don't think. I mean, it's a big body of work. And although, you know, when I think about somebody like Burt Bacharach, he's 80 years old and still cranking, you know, and he certainly could do 2 of these in his life, or if not more. So maybe I'll get another shot at it. But for now, it's thrilling just to be here.
Well, I think David has a habit of making good things great.
You look at his body of work, and you think about so many careers he's made, literally. You can't help but want 1/5 of that, and you have a pretty successful career.
I think I'll say 10 years from now, you know, American Idol gave me my recognition and my start, but David Foster, you gave me my career.
I'm very happy to work with him, and I hope to work with him in future.
I am so happy to be a part of this fabulous evening.
We're all here tonight because you've changed our lives, and thank you for doing that. And we hope you have the time of your life tonight, so thanks for everything.
You know, you're an inspiration, all the things that you do for charity. You give, and give. And this is a night when you're going to get it back from all of us, so we're happy to be here to give back to you.
He's the best. I mean, he's one of the greatest musicians in the world. You know, that's why these people are here, when it boils down to it.
Like I said in the program, I wrote a note in the program, and I said, I'm proud of my past, and I'm beyond excited to be here right now, tonight. And I'm enthusiastic about the future. Oh, there's a soundbite.